car is getting real close to being done. There really isn't that much left to do, and I've kind of gotten ahead of myself the last couple days, just continuing to work on it without actually having the camera running. So let's take a look at what I've done and I guess what's left. Going down the list, first off, I got the boost block. Everything's connected up, and notice I'm actually missing one of the line that I was previously running. That's because I went ahead and got the proper fitting for this. So now the wastegate down there is directly connected to the intake. Shorter run means better overall boost control. What's next? Well, these runs now have them, they're zip tied in place right now. Honestly, that should be all I need. They're nice, tight, and snug. But at some point, I'm gonna go ahead and get actual hose clamps for them. Chasing this down, I got the main pipe now going to the top of the throttle body right there. So that's done. I also have all of the other holes down there plugged up. I went ahead and attached some of these sensors up to the rear firewall, cleaning it up as much as I possibly could. Just trying to get them all out of there. I also re-sleeved a lot of these so that it's all cleaned up now. What else? The battery, so the negative terminal, I went ahead and attached so that now we have the normal connection down here, and then I also have a ground going directly to the engine block. What's next? I have oil catch can connected up, pipe right there, going down. I actually have it connected down here to where the stock airbox was previously connected. I need to get another breather. Hose connected up right there. The intake itself is now all connected up and tightened up. One of the last things that was left with that was previously all of this was just free hanging. Well, now I went ahead and fabricated a bracket that connects to right here. So now that's nice, tight, and snug. It's not going anywhere. Unfortunately, it pushed this out a little bit more, so now it's not as symmetrical as it was. I got the oil line rerouted, so now it goes up and around, and down here it goes behind the exhaust. Muffler doesn't touch any of that. The last thing to do at this point is going to be the oil pan. I just cleaned out the oil pan, got all the shavings, everything out of it. It's a matter of putting the sealant on there, hanging the oil pan, not fully tightening it up, letting that sealant dry for a couple hours, and then tightening it up all the way. Once that's done, it's just going to be adding oil, making sure there's oil in the turbo, so purging the system without actually starting it, and then it's going to be loading up a new map or modifying the map that I currently have on there. All right, I was able to get the oil pan cleaned up, gasket maker put on there, and it installed. We still need to hook up the oil return line, but in the process of doing this, I disconnected the oil feed line, and as I was reconnecting it up, I ended up breaking this. It's the adapter for one to the other, and on one hand it sucks, but on the other, I'm glad it broke right now as I was tightening it up, because it would have been a whole lot worse if it broke while I was driving. So now the oil pan is on there. It's hand tight. So now when it dries in an hour, 2 hours tonight, I'll tighten it up the rest of the way and it should be a good seal. Otherwise, I'm on my way to the hardware store now to buy a new one of these. After putting the car together and starting it up, it ran pretty good. I took it for a drive. The air-fuel ratios are right around where I want them, which is right around 11 to 12 to 1. Obviously, I need to clean them up a little bit, but I was pleased with how it looked and how it sounded. However, when I ended up getting home one of the times and doing a whole one-over of the car, I discovered I was leaking a little bit of oil. and I couldn't really pinpoint where I was leaking oil. I knew it was either at the oil pan gasket or where I went ahead and drilled and tapped the oil pan for the oil return feed line. Well, ended up pulling the oil feed return line, looking around further, and it looked like that was not the culprit, which meant I had to pull the oil pan off anyways. Now, keep in mind, I ended up using the stock oil pan, and I was kind of all along going back and forth whether or not I wanted to use the stock oil pan or not. And after discovering that the gasket on the oil pan was bad, it kind of made the decision for me of I need to pull it and either fix the gasket maker or switch in my, I guess, OBX oil pan. So that's what I ended up doing. So if you look at the old oil pan, or the stock OEM oil pan, right here is where the oil leak actually was. It was right above the actual oil return hole, bung, nipple, whatever you want to call it. So it was right above the oil return line. Right there is where the oil leak was. So obviously I went ahead and pulled this and put in the OBX pan. Alright, I've spent the last couple minutes working on just the idle. As you can see, air fuel ratios are sticking between 14.3 and 15.1. Good there. And the car is quite a bit more quiet now. Not surprising, but there you go. Running smooth. Sounds good. Looks good. Still got a bit of an oil leak down here. I'm assuming I gotta tighten up some nuts and bolts and stuff. But yeah, I'm doing good.